Today we're going to be bolting on the rear fenders of the car. Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the notification buttons below and share with others on social media. So today I'm going to be bolting on the rear fenders, trying to get both of them on there. Those fenders need to be modified, and so I need to get them on the car so I could see what they look like on the car, therefore I can modify them afterwards. And since I'm trying to kind of finish up the bodywork, it's about time to do that, and it doesn't really interfere with anything me and Greg have been doing. So let's hop to it. All right, so I got the fender tapped in with 2 bolts. There's going to be a lot more bolts, and I already pre-drilled the holes. But I wanted to get this on the car just so I could kind of get an idea of what I'm going to cut off. Because right now it's in full fender mode, and we need to chop this off so it's in bike fender mode. Now, these I was going to start on originally, and that's why you see one up. And then I realized without it being on the ground, I can't really tell like what the rake of the car is and what the angle of the fender being cut is and stuff like that. So I bailed and decided to move on these because these only fit one way. And so I got those in, I got the wheels on. And what we're going to end up doing is popping this thing on rollers, and then I'll be able to roll this car out of the garage, work on it, and then roll it back in, which thanks to my neighbor Bob, let me borrow those. I'm getting my garage doors replaced, and they won't work on the car because it's under, or they won't work on the doors because it's under the railing. So the original idea was to roll the car over here so they could actually do what they need to do. But then Bob's like, well, why don't you keep the rollers on the car and just roll it outside and work on your fiberglass? And I'm like, brilliant. So he's cool with letting me borrow those for a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. So I need to get this car back on the ground. And like I've always said before, it's a little scary because it's not super high up right now, but it is on the suspension. The jack stands are almost at full length, which I don't necessarily like. So I need to get this car to slowly come down. And anybody's been watching, you know, I've told them that this thing's sitting on its suspension. And then they see this jack stand here. This is just, you know, it's loose. It's not even on the car. It's just a safety. And that's actually a recall jack stand, which you're like, well, how could that be safety? Well, it's all the way down. So just in case something happened, it was like a second safety. But I need to return those. They've been out of stock of new ones, and I'd rather have the safety here in its full down position than not. So, but those will be going back soon. And then, I don't know, let's see if we can get this thing on the ground. All right, we got it on the ground. This is the first time trying to lift the car while the valances are on. And this Daytona 3-ton low profile DS300 LP literally barely clears this as it comes down. It almost looks like it's gonna hit, and then it totally clears it. So I got the right jack for this car. And of course, underneath here is all Valant, so it wraps under the grill. So there's nowhere under the grill to actually put a jack stand. I've had people comment, you know, well, you need to jack it from the center of the car. Well, not really possible on this one. So unless you have a super long profile, which I think that's the normal, which is really deep, but maybe not as deep as another one that could get way under there. But, you know, in the future, I'll have radiator hoses and all sorts of stuff under there, so I don't think that's really valid. It's easier going from the side. So let's take a look at this. I actually tried to film the front of the car, but going down, but I guess while this thing's powered up, it doesn't like to do that, so. Man, that's starting to look like something real. We're gonna keep going. All right, so one way that I could put on my bike fender in the front is to get like a 3/4 inch hose, wrap it 2 pieces across the car, and that will give you this nice perfect 3/4 inch gap. But I don't have any hose, and you know, they say in the manual like you can fit your hand in there. Well, your hand's about 3/4 inch. So what I have here is 7/8 and 3/4. And so I'm just going to actually mark some lines on here that will allow me to know that one is 3 and one is 7/8, just for easy viewing. And then I'm going to make little 1-inch chunks. And then I'll make 6 per tire, and then I'll tape those to the tire, and then I'll have a perfect 3/4 inch around. And the reason I'm making them 1-inch chunks is just so the longer they are, the more it won't be 3/4 inch anymore because the tire's changing. So I'll just make it little chunks that I could tape on. So let me go do that. All right, so the plan with the little spacers worked out perfectly. When I stick my hand in there, I could barely get my hand in, which is, you know, the 3/4 inch mark. When I look in there, everything is touching the spacers. And I got my nice 45-degree angle going. So seems to be working out pretty well. And you can see that I just have, you know, one clamp there and one clamp down there, and you know, of course, you know, I could bring this in a little bit, but and then I need to choose, you know, what my lines are going to be, but I'll probably drill holes. I got to commit at some point. This would be a good time to commit, but I'm going to do the same thing to the other tire and go from there. So this one's pretty much perfectly centered. Might be hard to tell in the video. Plus this lip's kind of weird, so it kind of throws things off. This one, however, could actually come out like, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4. You can see it's pretty big there, not much on the edge. Over here, you can see there's a pretty equal amount. So, and if you remember, if you've been watching all my videos, this is the one I did all the test sizing and all that stuff for, so it makes sense that that one's pretty much perfect. And this one's a little off because I just duplicated what was going on there. Luckily, all I have to do is shave my shims off to move that back out a little bit, so easy fix. The other thing is, this thing's solid on the inside, and so what people normally do is they'll have the fender kind of come here and then get thick and then kind of cut this back out and come around so it's not boaty looking. But it's barely touching there, and I've confirmed that everything is touching the spacers, but like I was trying to stick a little tiny shim in there to see if it's touching or not, and it's pretty tight. Same thing on this side. You can see I even have a piece of tape there to protect the paint. So we're doing pretty good. I think if I was gonna officially cut holes, which I'd like to, I think I'd want to actually relieve this area first before I do that. So I might actually pencil in where this is, and then, take a little bit of that out. However, I kind of want to know the design of what I'm doing before I start chopping away and go, oh, that doesn't support this anymore, or it doesn't look good. So I think for now, we're going to call it a day on this. I don't really want to put it on the skids, because if it moves the wheel, it will move the spacers and then it will jack everything up, and that's barely clamped on. But this has been a pretty fruitful weekend, and got the old air conditioner up there, which I haven't talked about much, but I finally gave in so I could actually get work done while it's 110 degrees outside. And right now it's about 83, so it's holding pretty well. Got some new garage doors coming in, so I'm going to do a street rod gym video. Hold on, what's it called? It's called Kit Car Talk with Street Rod Jim. I'm going to do one of those videos really soon, because there's just been so much since the last one I've done. I thought I'd do more throughout the process, but these last 4 or 5 months with the world and everything going on, it's just been kind of crazy. So I'll make a nice long video that's pretty informative. Till next time, have a great day.